What's going on, you magnificent bastards? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday? Well, it's fine around here. I don't know about where you are. We're getting the muggies back. That we are. Starting to go back up into the 90s, and then high humidity. 70, 75% humidity. Beautiful. Well, I got the steamer done. I was going to do an update on it, and the next thing I knew, it was 9 o'clock last night, and the only thing I had left to put on it was the tail light. After I got done fixing, I had to fix a few things. There were a few things that weren't up to par in the kit. There were a couple of things missing in the kit. And when I say that, I mean on the model itself, not part-wise. But, yeah, there was a little brass rod that I ended up putting up on the steering column. And I fixed the lights, the lantern, and the tail lights. I had to fix all of the lights, actually. What a mess. A little glitch in the directions. So I think I'll show you the glitch first, boys. It's had to do with the rear end and the suspension. This part right here. Right here. They got these in, they're telling you to put these in backwards. See how there's a stop on this end and there's no stop on that end? Well, I tried putting it together their way, but the only problem is there's a little notch there and there's a little notch here. By the time that notch hits where it's supposed to go, this end is sticking out the other side. Now, where the hell am I supposed to put that one? So I looked at him and went, hey, wait a minute. Because if you put these together like this, there's nothing that sticks out for the tires to go on. So I had to flip them around. So this end went into there, and then this end, by the time that this, because there's a stop on the inside of here too, there's a notch. And the notch, this notch here, once it hits that, your axles are sticking out the other side and you're good to go. And then the other thing you got to watch out for, because I don't know who else will build this, but just in case, this is you got to watch out when you put these rear springs in. This notch does not go there. I got a little confused. Well, Jeff would say a lot confused. And I finally figured out that the reason that notch is there is for this part. When you put these pieces in, they fit in those notches. So once I got all that stuff figured out, we got it together. Like I said, a couple of things I fixed. They were, the dashboard was missing a gauge. I had to make a gauge for the dashboard. Like I said, all the lights. This was, when I de-chromed them, they called it brass. It looked like a mixture between brass and chrome. It was disgusting. So I de-chromed it, and it was on this, a clear sprue that they had sprayed, because this brown stuff chips off. Ask me how I know. So I had to take all the clear parts, all the brass parts after I got them done, and literally scrape all this stuff off. It was a nightmare. But yeah, look how that's clear sprue. It's all clear sprue and brittle. This stuff is so brittle, it's not even funny. So, but all right. With that all being said, I think I'll give you a little history on her, and then we'll go look at her. 1909 Stanley Steamer. Okay. The international combustion engine is the established means of powering all of today's automobiles. Various other types of power plants have been tried, and all have fallen short of even challenging. All except the Stanley Steamer. When looking back at available information, the Stanley seemed to have the best chance on taking on the internal combustion engine. Stanleys were reported to have won many long-distance races. To be so quiet they had to have train whistles to avoid sneaking up on people. To be so powerful that the company offered $1,000 to any man who would drive one with the throttle open for 3 minutes. And the most famous legend of all, to have been driven to 197 miles an hour in 1907 before it took off like an airplane and crashed. With all this going for it, the Stanley would appear to be a viable challenger, except that the Stanley myth was just that, a myth. Many writers and steam engine supporters during that time and since have generated many fantastic stories about the Stanley. The Stanley would do very well in short, high-speed races, but never did well in long-distance runs. The whistles were purely fancy. The $1,000 offer was not made by the Stanley brothers, but most Stanleys were too fast for travel on the roads and suspension designs of that day. The most famous legend was of Fred Marriott's 197-mile-per-hour run at Ormond Beach in Florida in 1906. The car turned 2 miles per... Wait a minute, let me finish. The most famous legend was of Fred Marriott's 197-mile-per-hour run at Ormond Beach in Florida. Marriott did turn the first 2 miles per minute run, 127.659 miles per hour in 1906. The car lifted the front wheels on a surface irregularity and crashed when the wheels come down. The only approximation of the car speed was from F.B. Stanley's stopwatch, which gave an estimated 150 miles an hour. Now that's in 1906. Stanley Steamers were very competitive automobiles, even though they did not match the legend. One of the most popular versions was the Model E2 Runabout, selling for only $850. Stanley advertised that for speed, efficiency, and durability, our cars cannot be duplicated in any other make at double our prices. The basic E2 was a 2-seat runabout being supplied without the back seat. Various optional seats could be mounted on the utility box in the rear one, which is applied in your Aurora American kits. So you had an option. You could either put on the box or the seat. I chose the seat. The car had a 10-horsepower steam power plant with an 18-inch boiler and burner under the hood and a 3x4-inch engine mounted under the car and connected directly to the rear axle without a transmission. The chassis carried a 100-inch wheelbase and was suspended by fully elliptical sprints on all 4 wheels. The suspension was similar to that used for horse-drawn buggies and wagons. And when you see it, you'll understand. Braking was done by external contracting straps and inertia-expanding shoes acting on drums mounted on the rear wheels only. The gasoline tank was mounted in the rear and carried 15 gallons, which would carry the little runabout 150 to 200 miles. But the only problem was the 26-gallon water tank was mounted under the front seat and would range only 40 to 50 miles. The little Model E2 runabout is among the most numerous of all the Stanleys remaining today. This car, if it had matched the dreams of its supporters, could have been the forerunner of the automobiles of today. So, without further ado, let's go take a look at our 1909 Stanley Steamer. All right, now hang on, boys. Hang on. Oh, all right. Down for nappies. Oh yeah, she's all cold. Not even an ear twitch. Shh. All right, let's go look. It's a pretty cool kit, actually. Like I said, other than that rear end problem, she went together very well. Yeah, so here we are. There she is. This is 1/16 scale. Like I said, a problem. All these lights had to be, they were terrible. Terrible. Excuse me. I painted the fenders, the seats, the trim, the black trim. Other than that, everything else is right out of the box. The yellow and the green. All they did was get a coat of Future 4 polish. I used my anti-skid stuff in there. Here's the lantern I fixed. That was just a blob. And then here's our rear tail light. I think that came out pretty cool. Always does good to save your parts. That was another thing that was just a blob. No detail on it, nothing. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to fix that. Up here, this gauge, I don't know if I can get in there. That gauge right there had to be made. This brass rod underneath the steering wheel got put in. They left that out. But yeah, I'm pretty friggin' happy with how she looks, guys. Tell me what you think. So this is our third car in our Max series. I think we got 2 more left. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this came out. The yellow is vinyl. I used some yellow vinyl. All the yellow in there is the vinyl. This does not come off. That just screws down. Got our old nice wooden steering wheel with the wooden knob on the shifter. But well, yeah, I am extremely happy with how she looks. That's just a cool car, man. Yeah, imagine doing 150 miles an hour in that. Very, very cool. So, let me know what you think, guys. So I had a great time building. These are all kits, man. So I think the next one, yeah, let's go look and see what the next one is. I don't know when it's going to get done. I am working. I just started decaling the Messerschmitt. She's all painted. 1911 Buick. That will be our next one. And we got the Stutz. We got that. That's a 1914. I don't know if I'm going to be able to build this. That's missing some parts. And I do have these down here. I still got the 28 and the 32. So I might include those in there just to get them out of the stash. So, all right, let's close everything up. Got a nice rack of ribs outside. One last look at her, fellas. One last look at her. So, let me know what you think. All right. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Well, so, I hope wherever you are today, you're having a good day. Hope everything's going well for everybody. I know that my buddy, a little sad news with Jeff. I guess he has to put one of the ferrets down. Quality of life, you know. It sucks having to do it, but you can't let the animals suffer. So, my condolences to my buddy. Oh. All right, guys. Oh, God, over 13 minutes. Nobody's going to watch this one. So, quick look. All right, fellas. Ladies, germs, ferrets. There's 2 years. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You might be getting a Mrs. Mac garden video out of me later on. I could be half in the wrapper, but who knows. Peace out, you magnificent bastards.